Welcome back. This is Dr. Mike, physical therapist. Today we're going to be talking about the dead bug exercise and the common mistakes that I see people making when this exercise is prescribed to them, or if they're just using this exercise for general fitness. Now, this exercise is targeting the entire abdominal wall, but it is going to be focusing on isometrically contracting the transverse abdominis. If you're not sure what that muscle is, it is known as the deeper core muscle, which wraps around our entire pelvis and rib cage, also known as the inner corset, with fibers that actually run horizontally in this direction. So you can do as many crunches as you want, but you're not gonna be effectively training that transverse abdominis. And the transverse abdominis has major benefits in providing stability for the lower back and even the hips, especially when we're walking or when we're trying to prevent unwanted motion. So this exercise is called the dead bug because we're essentially lying on our back like a dead bug. So the first mistake I see people make when they're starting this position is they start with their lower back arch, which is going to be very difficult to contract their abdominals. So instead, you should keep that back nice and flat against the pad. And as you're moving, you're focusing on really trying to keep your lower back in contact with the pad the entire time. So the second mistake I see people make is they simply don't know how to breathe correctly. So as they get started up in this position, they'll either draw their tummy in and take a deep breath, which you'll see it creates that extension of the lower back. Or another thing they'll do is they'll just kind of hold their breath throughout the entire movement as they're going, so they have no real chance to breathe. So instead, what you want to do when you're starting off this exercise is you want to take a big inhale in through your nose, and then you want to exhale all of your air out, and you should feel your pelvis and your rib cage kind of coming closer together and your abdominals tightening as you exhale everything out. So inhale, exhale all your air out. Now as you're exhaling, you're tightening your abdominals. And as you're moving your arm and leg away from your midline, your abdominal muscles are what's preventing you from going into that hyperextension. And so once again, you take a deep breath in, exhale. Now the last mistake I see people make is they just move too far out of the range of motion that they can control. So they'll be starting out in this position, and as they move, they lose control of their abdominals and their back begins to arch, and they just kind of allow their leg to still go further and further. And they'll kind of look like this, and even though they may feel like they're doing the exercise correctly, they're really not performing this exercise right. So what you want to do is you're only moving within your range, and that may mean you start off with your leg a little bit higher versus going too low. So what you can do is you can bring that leg a little higher so it's a little easier, or you just not go out as far, okay? So when you're doing this, you're only going to what you can control at the pelvis. As soon as you start to feel this pelvis rock forward, that means you lost control of those abdominals, and you just want to either shorten that range of motion or return to a starting position. So recap for the exercise, we're in a starting position, ensuring that our back is nice and flat against the ground. We take a deep breath in through our nose, exhale, we lower opposite arm and leg, contracted the abdominal wall, bringing it back to the starting position. And you'll feel all those abdominals contracting, and it's not just your rectus abdominis, which is in the middle, but you'll feel it all the way around your abdominal wall. Guys, thanks for watching today. Hope this video was helpful for you. And if you found value in this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.